in high definition. It's about time, your time. Fox 11 Tucson Now, news at 9.
Straight ahead on Fox 11 Tucson Now, an elderly couple is found dead inside a Midtown home and police think they were murdered.
Plus, a new debate over electronic cigarettes in Tucson's largest school district.
And the public gets to speak out on a plan to build a new racetrack near Tucson. What people are saying tonight. Good evening to you, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Teresa John.
And I'm Dan Maries. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Midtown, where police are conducting a double murder investigation right now.
The bodies of two elderly people were found inside a home near Grant and Swan. And that is where Fox 11's Craig Thomas is joining us live now with the very latest. Craig, what have we learned?
Well, Teresa, right now it's an eerie feeling right now because it is so quiet out here, and it was such a violent double homicide that took place behind me. We are on North Street. This is a very small cul-de-sac, only 5 homes in this cul-de-sac, but in one of the homes near the back, which is all dark right now, an elderly couple that have lived in this neighborhood for years was found murdered. And here's what police tell us. They got a call just after 4 o'clock from a family member. The family member had come home and had found the couple. When the family member called, police arrived. They initially thought maybe the elderly couple was just injured, and then in fact they found that they were both deceased. And police have been on the scene since then. There are many homicide detectives, there are policemen. This little cul-de-sac is closed. It is an active crime scene, and they're trying to put things together piece by piece, find out exactly what happened and who did this.
And the investigation is really just getting started to determine who they may have had contact with recently, who else may have been at the residence, and we're going to be exploring any and all possibilities.
I spoke to a neighbor who has lived on this street for over 50 years, and she said, of course, she is shocked. She knew the family. She knew the family's children. They've been a part of this community for years, so there are many more questions than answers right now. We're live in Midtown. Craig Thomas, Fox 11 Tucson Now.
Craig, thank you. A woman critically hurt in a car accident a month ago today has died, and now the driver of the car she was riding in is facing felony charges. It happened on the southwest side near Mission and Ajo. Police say 18-year-old Alicia Deegan died last night. She had been in grave condition since the accident on June 23rd. We're told she was not wearing a seatbelt. 19-year-old Angel Ruelas was arrested for a felony on the day of the accident. Police say he was driving drunk when he crashed the car. He was wearing his seatbelt, suffered only minor injuries.
Police want your help identifying a suspect they say is linked to 2 armed robberies in the foothills. Rincon District deputies say that a man robbed a Red Mango yogurt shop at Sunrise and Swan, along with a nearby 7-Eleven store. This is surveillance video taken from one of those robberies. The suspect reportedly left the scene in a silver 4-door sedan with a faded license plate. Sheriff's detectives believe it is the same suspect in both robberies, so take a good look at the surveillance image here. Anyone with information about who committed this crime is asked to call 911 or 88 Crime. South Tucson police are investigating a shooting that sent 1 man to the hospital overnight. It happened near South 8th Avenue and West 30th Street. The 31-year-old victim was found in an alley suffering from gunshot wounds around 3:30 in the morning. He was taken to a hospital and he is expected to be okay. You're asked to call 911 or 88 Crime once again if you know anything that could help police in this case. A reward of up to $1,000 has been offered for information leading to an arrest.
We've got some heavy rain falling in portions of Cochise County right now, and those storms continuing to move off to the southwest. Now, they're not as strong as they were an hour ago, but still producing very heavy rainfall, and you can see that movement just right along Interstate 10 and moving right along that as of right now. But look at that. There's an outflow, and you can see that on the radar clearly right now. It's producing pretty strong winds, these storms, and that's why that outflow boundary just moving into Pima County. So behind that, cooler air, gusty winds, that can make its way into the Tucson metro area. We're also going to be watching that because that could produce some more storms out in front of there. Here's a closer look at that line of storms. You can see not as strong as, say, an hour or 2 hours ago, but still very heavy rain with it. And behind that, we're looking at some heavy rainfall right now for most of Cochise County. So flood advisory in effect until 10:30 tonight. So Elfrida, just to the south of Interstate 10, Bowie, Wilcox, you're not under that. You're close to it, though. So heavy rainfall likely as these storms continue to push through. Now, we got an increased chance of rain as we go through the later portion of the week. More details on that coming up. Dan?
All right, thanks, Dan. Safety concerns about a road on the northwest side. We've been telling you about an effort to widen part of Orange Grove Road. It's expanding to 4 lanes from La Cholla to Camino de la Tierra. People living nearby are concerned about the extra traffic at what they're calling a dangerous intersection. This stretch of road has been under construction for a few months now. The plan will turn this area of Orange Grove from a 2-lane to a 4-lane road. According to the design plan, this hill will be reduced, giving people a clear line of sight. But residents are concerned the ridge won't be lowered enough. They say it's a very busy intersection with a church and a private school nearby.
I go up to Ina, across east, and down La Cholla to get to my doctor, to the hospital. This is scary. This is really scary.
We're going to lower this hill. It's going to be lowered a little, approximately 2 feet, maybe a little over 2 feet. It's designed to allow site visibility.
Residents say they will monitor the area to make sure the hill is lowered. Construction is expected to be completed next summer.
Coming up next here on Fox 11 Tucson Now, Democratic lawmakers try to tie the hands of the Obama administration in just how far it can go to aid the Syrian rebels. Details straight ahead.
Plus, more controversy over photos of the surviving Boston Marathon bombing suspect as a police officer now faces disciplinary action. You're watching Fox 11 Tucson Now. I'm Dan Maries in for Craig Thomas.
And I'm Teresa Junn. And right now on our website, find out if monsoon storms are heading your way by using our live Doppler radar tool. It lets you zoom in anywhere, right into your neighborhood. It's always online at TucsonNewsNow.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A Massachusetts State Police photographer who released photos of the Boston bombing suspect to a magazine has now been placed on restricted duty. Following a hearing today, Sergeant Sean Murphy was placed on desk duty where he won't have contact with the public. The officer released photos of the bloodied Johar Tsarnaev to Boston Magazine in reaction to this, the controversial Rolling Stone cover, which critics say glamorized the suspect's image. While the U.S. Attorney's Office calls the release of the photos completely unacceptable, Sergeant Murphy's lawyers defended his actions.
Rebels fighting in the civil war in Syria that's claimed by some estimates more than 100,000 lives desperately need to turn things around. The Obama administration has said as much, and aid is coming. The White House, however, remains vague in its pledges to ramp up direct military aid to the rebels, who in recent weeks have been badly outgunned by the dictatorial regime of Bashar al-Assad and its chief suppliers of foreign fighters, Iran and Hezbollah.
We are a slice of the pie. We're not the entire pie. We are focused on stability, but we are working with our regional counterparts to continue to coordinate and increase aid.
Beyond fears of the U.S. wading into another Mideast war, some lawmakers express concern that American-supplied weapons could fall into the hands of Syrian rebels allied with al-Qaeda. Still others on the right voiced fears that the administration is doing too little too late to make a difference in Syria.
Only on Fox 11 Tucson Now, dramatic video as a train plows right through a building. That story and more as Fox Report anchor Shepard Smith takes us across America.
Colorado, railroad officials say crews were doing a switching move in a Denver yard when 4 cars on a freight train derailed and plowed through a maintenance facility. They destroyed some heavy equipment before stopping on the other side of the building. Nobody hurt. Virginia, police and firefighters south of Richmond trying to find whoever stole a fire engine and took it for a ride. A cop found it banged up and abandoned in a ditch. Fire officials say the suspect had to jump a fence to take the truck from a maintenance lot. California, Santa Clara County's newest source for clean water is a sewage treatment plant. The pre-treated wastewater flows into a $68 million purification center in Silicon Valley. Officials say its 3-step process makes the water perfectly drinkable, but they also say folks just aren't ready to swallow the toilet-to-tap idea, so the purified water will go to fire hydrants, landscaping, decorative fountains, and to cool power plants. D.C. Folks have been lining up at the U.S. Botanic Garden to see and smell the rare corpse flower, an 8-foot-tall rainforest plant from Indonesia known for its awful odor. Experts say it could bloom for a week before it collapses and dies. And that's a Fox Watch. Across America.
Wish I could get a whiff of that.
Don't you really? I know. It blooms very rarely, so it's a special treat, I guess.
Cool looking.
Well, coming up next here on Fox 11 Tucson Now, a plan to build a racetrack near Tucson is driving some residents to raise concerns over noise, while others want the project to cross the finish line as soon as possible. You'll hear from both sides of this debate.
But first, Dan's got a check of our weather.
Yeah, we got some rain falling across Cochise County at this time of night. Some of this rain possibly could make it in the Tucson metro area. More details on that, plus what looks like could be a wet week coming up. More details coming up next on Fox 11 Tucson Now.
Here's your Fox 11 Tucson Now First Alert forecast. It's about time, your time.
Pretty active evening across Cochise, Graham County. Nothing popping up around Tucson. We've seen a clear, dry day, and it looks like that may change as we go into tomorrow. And here's a look at the radar now. Cochise County still getting hit with pretty heavy rainfall. Not seeing any thunderstorms, not seeing any severe weather. Good news there, just some heavy rain moving across portions of Interstate 10. Also, most of central and eastern Cochise County seeing some nice rainfall, so flood advisory in effect. Get to that in a second. But here's a look at that heavy rain right now across most of the Chiricahuas, back up towards Wilcox. Wilcox not seeing that rainfall. And also that line of storms right now moving towards Benson. Another 20-30 minutes you're going to get hit with rain. See that line right there? That's that outflow boundary. That's where you got that cooler air behind it, more warm air in front of it. Now that flow could actually trigger more storms, so we'll be watching that as we go through the night. So Tucson, we're not out of the woods completely seeing rainfall, but it doesn't look all too likely. There's that flood advisory. You can see just south of Wilcox, south of Benson. That's until 10:30 tonight. That does include Elfrida, so keep that in mind. Some standing water very likely on roadways as that rain is just producing a lot of rain at times and just sitting there as well. 91 current temperature Tucson, 79 Sierra Vista. Look at Safford behind that rain, 76 degrees. It's 71 in Douglas, 66 higher elevations. Low pressure, that's giving us that rain. You can see that spin out of New Mexico driving those storms downward, so that's why they have that south movement to them right now. That low by tomorrow is going to shift in a great spot to see a lot of rainfall. So as that taps into that moisture, Mexico spins it right up into the states. So tomorrow and Thursday, pretty high chance of seeing rain. High pressure moving back in. We're not going completely dry, but by the weekend it will be drier, so rainfall not as likely Friday and Saturday. And as we go into next week, that high shifts into Texas. Keep that dry air into place. Not really looking at a great chance of rain after Thursday, but it's monsoon time, so we'll keep that rain chance at about 20%, looks like, through the weekend. Another way to look at this, humid air just situated across Arizona. Watch that dry air stays up to the north. Well, out of California by the weekend, that's going to start to shift into the state. You can see we lose the blues, go into the greens. That's why we're not calling for as much rain by the weekend. 88 Tombstone tomorrow, 89 Paris, the rain likely Cochise County. 101 tomorrow, Sells, 100 Lukeville, 102 Ajo, 96 for Vail, Tucson, 98 degrees, pretty close to average. Looking at a decent shot of seeing rainfall as we go through the day. Thursday, best chance of rain, 40%, sitting at 96. The temperature Friday, 99. There's that 20% chance of rain. Sticks around through the weekend, back up into triple digits Sunday and Monday. That will last into Tuesday. And as I mentioned, less of a chance of rain, but it's, July, into July, so we're going to keep that slight chance of seeing isolated thunderstorms in the forecast through the week.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much, Dan.
Yeah. Well, coming up next in Fox 11 Entertainment News, new drama for a former child star. Find out why Amanda Bynes wasn't allowed to leave the hospital.
Plus, why is director Spike Lee asking for the public's help in financing his next film project? We'll explain when Fox 11 Tucson Now rolls on. Welcome back. While the world has its eyes on the royal baby in London, Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem welcome their own bundle of joy in Madrid, Spain.
Yeah, the Oscar-winning actress gave birth to the couple's second child yesterday, a baby girl. They had a boy named Leo 2.5 years ago in LA. Cruz and fellow Oscar winner Bardem married in 2010 after starring in Woody Allen's comedy Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
In other entertainment news, actress Amanda Bynes finds herself locked up for psychiatric care, the latest in a series of disastrous public outbursts.
Fox's Adam Housley has that story and much more in this edition of Hollywood Nation.
I need you. Spike needs a kickstart, Sasha's no queen, and Amanda has her head examined in the Hollywood Nation. Amanda Bynes' trip to California has gotten a little crazy. The troubled starlet is being detained on a 5150 involuntary psychiatric hold at an LA area hospital after allegedly setting a stranger's driveway on fire. Some more star trouble in Southern California. Iconic 80s band Flock of Seagulls, their van was stolen during a Los Angeles gig Sunday night, including an estimated $70,000 worth of equipment. Hoping to revive his comedy career, Andrew Dice Clay has inked a deal to author a memoir titled The Filthy Truth, due out next May. The foul-mouthed funny man's first steps on the comeback trail, appearing in Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine, opening this week. Sacha Baron Cohen has pulled the plug on his Freddie Mercury biopic. The actor's vision for a dark, edgy film about the Queen frontman clashed with the band's remaining members, who were hoping for a more family-friendly movie.
Help me finance my new next film.
And Spike Lee is the latest celeb to turn to the online crowdfunder Kickstarter to raise money for his next movie. Aiming to earn $1.25 million in 30 days, the first three $10,000 bidders will get dinner with the director and courtside Knicks tickets.
Please help me.
In Hollywood, Adam Housley, Fox News.
Well, do you get, like, return on that investment?
I think you get whatever he's promising. I guess that dinner and tickets to the movie.
$10,000. I didn't know Flock of Seagulls were still playing.
That's interesting. Crazy hairstyle, right?
Yeah, I wanted that so bad when I was younger.
You can still do it. We've got more news and weather straight ahead.
You're watching Fox 11 Tucson Now. We'll be right back.
Now, in high definition, it's about time, your time. Fox 11 Tucson Now. News at 9.
Good evening to you, and thanks for sticking with us here on Fox 11. I'm Teresa John.
And I'm Dan Mars in for Craig Thomas. Well, it seems like a win-win situation, but some people see caution flags over plans for a new Tucson racetrack.
Pima County's idea is to build a large new racetrack near the fairgrounds on the southeast side. That's where we find Fox 11's Chris Holmstrom with more on this new plan. Chris?
And Teresa, the Pima County Fairgrounds could be home to the Southern Arizona racetrack, but there's still a long way to go. Tonight, county leaders had a public meeting about this proposed track. It'll be modeled after several successful tracks in the Midwest and along the West Coast. It would also include a 3-mile multi-course track that would seat at least 20,000 people. The hope is that it'll be used for NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and motorcycles. Now, most people at today's meeting were in favor of the track, but those opposing it were mostly concerned about noise and lighting. But county leaders say that the facility will use a noise reduction strategy. Now, the county has already had some investors who are interested. At this point, the minimum bid for the first phase is $15 million.
We believe that this will change really the character of motorsports here in this community and bring tourists from all over the world, because racing is an international sport.
The other concern I have, like I said, is whoever is going to, if they get somebody to take the bid, they need deep pockets. Because I've seen NASCAR said there wasn't enough money in Denver, and Denver's 4 times the size of Tucson.
And the proposed track will likely be done in 4 phases, totaling more than $60 million. But county leaders say it's all being paid by private investors. None of it is being paid by taxpayers. They're also planning on having another public hearing next month. Reporting live from the Pima County Fairgrounds, I'm Chris Holmstrom, Fox 11, Tucson Now.
Thank you, Chris. A race against time has begun in Nogales.
Yeah, work to protect a sewage line must beat monsoon rains or risk the line breaking and sending millions of gallons of raw sewage into the Santa Cruz, which flows north towards Tucson. Fox 11's J.D. Wallace is in Nogales, where work is underway.
An estimated 9 million gallons of raw sewage flows through the line each day from Mexico to a Rio Rico treatment plant. Part of the repairs include redirecting that flow through pipes like those around the repair area and then back into that sewage line to that treatment plant.
Huma Abedin also spoke, saying that she stands beside her husband during this campaign and in their marriage.
Even with a rock star reception, Pope Francis's arrival in Brazil for World Youth Day got off to a bumpy start. Last night's protest at the presidential palace forced the Pope to instead leave the reception by a helicopter. And then earlier, his driver's wrong turn put his car on a congested street. The faithful rushed the vehicle, reaching the Pope's open window, and Brazilian authorities reporting that they found a homemade explosive device in a public toilet near a shrine that Francis will visit tomorrow. The Vatican says it does not believe it was aimed at the Pope and is still confident of Brazil's ability to protect him.
We are not worried about security. The worry is that the enthusiasm is so big that honestly it is hard to respond to so much enthusiasm from the Pope and from the organization. But we have no fear or worry.
Tomorrow, the new Pope attends the opening of a hospital for recovering drug addicts. Then on Thursday, the welcoming ceremony with 1 million young people on Rio's famed Copacabana beach.
Outgoing Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano addressed security operations on the Mexico-Texas border today. Napolitano met with Mexican authorities in Matamoros, Mexico, to discuss cooperation between the two countries in the border region. She says the plan is to enforce a border with the best manpower, infrastructure, and technology. Following the meeting, Secretary Napolitano signed a document to expand the U.S.-Mexico cross-border security communications network.
The NTSB is investigating yesterday's accident involving a Southwest Airlines jetliner at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Today, the NTSB took the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder to its D.C. lab. The plane's front landing gear collapsed during landing, causing the plane to skid down the runway on its nose. 10 people were hurt. Passengers described smoke filling the cabin as items flew around.
Hundreds of prisoners, including senior members of al-Qaeda, are on the run after a mass breakout from Iraq's notorious Abu Ghraib jail. They were set free during a late-night attack on Sunday. Insurgents fired dozens of mortar rounds, set off suicide and car bombs. 21 prisoners and 8 guards were killed during a firefight, which lasted more than an hour. Well, the next season of American Idol is already underway as auditions are happening across America.
Now is your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to tomorrow's American Idol live tour at the ComAmerica Theater in Phoenix. Pick up your phone and call us right now. The 11th caller is our winner. The number is 744-5225.
Yes, that's all you have to do. And when you do call, we will need your contact information. The winner can pick up the tickets at our front desk tomorrow morning. Once again, the number to call is 744-5225. You want to call us right now and be our 11th caller to win these American Idol tickets. Good luck. Just ahead in sports, Damian Alameda has details on a U of A football player who is now facing felony drug charges after police serve a search warrant at his apartment. You're watching Fox 11 Tucson Now. I'm Teresa Junn.
And I'm Dan Mares. Right now on our webpage, they've been open in Tucson for months, but now Santa Cruz County has its first medical marijuana dispensary. The story online at TucsonNewsNow.com. We'll be right back.
Good evening, I'm Conchetta Callahan. Coming up tomorrow, Tucson Unified School District officials are unveiling a new transportation hub, how you can get a first look at the facility. Join us for Fox 11 Tucson Now Daybreak, Southern Arizona's only local newscast from 7 to 9.
Get this, a Japanese PR company is staking out new territory for product placement, and you guessed it, it's on women's thighs. About 80 girls and women put these temporary tattoos on their thighs to promote the DVD of the movie Ted. The women are 18 or older. They get $30 for putting on the tattoo and then just hanging out in a designated section of Tokyo for 8 hours. $30 for 8 hours? I don't know about that. Company officials say they'll get even more publicity for free when the women post pictures of themselves on social media.
I'd do it for cheaper.
Dan.
Well, it doesn't seem like a big deal to us, but temperatures are expected to reach 104 degrees by the end of the week in Italy, and it's affecting the zoo animals there. At Rome's zoo, the animals getting frozen fruit pops to help get some relief from that heat. Brown bears Luca and Nina enjoying playing with the blocked ice treats before eating them. Zookeepers are using beat the heat diet strategies to keep the animals fresh and healthy.
Cute. Well, here he is, the baby that the world has been waiting for, the future King of England. Prince William and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, is showing off their little boy earlier today. Only a day old, he's already getting a very early introduction to a ritual that he's born to repeat over and over. the famous photo op. You better get used to this. Right now, the family is back home at Kensington Palace in London, and everyone is reportedly doing well.
And so now the next waiting game is the name of the baby.
I know.
How come they haven't picked out a name yet? They've had 9 months.
They've had a long time. I just hope it happens soon because I don't know how much longer I can listen to these pundits speculating.
I'm with you on that, yes.
By the way, we want to congratulate Amanda Moreno for winning the 4-pack of tickets to American Idol concert tomorrow night in Phoenix. Have a blast. Thanks for calling in and winning our game tonight.
You need anybody to go with you?
Hint, hint. Thanks so much for watching Fox 11 Tucson Now.
Be sure to turn it over to KOLD News 13 live at 10.